amongst the players just on what he's meant to this team?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think everyone knows he's probably been our best player, and I think we have a lot of guys that have had great years, but what he's done consistently is pretty impressive, and it's not really a surprise to any of us anymore, but nice for him to get a little bit of recognition because he's played so well, and he's really been our backbone. So I think all the guys are excited for playoffs, but obviously it's a nice accolade for him, and I'm sure there's many more coming in his career.
A bunch of guys got the night off the other night. Did you go to coach and say, I need a night off?
No, that's not how it works. No, I want to play. I think just because I missed a couple of games a little while ago, you want to stay in your rhythm. I've never missed 8 games in a season. I've already missed 8 this year, so I want to play as many as I can. So, I think for those guys on a back-to-back and stuff, they've played a lot of heavy minutes, all those guys that got the night off. So I think if you asked them, they all would have wanted to play, but, well-deserved rest for those guys, especially, like I said, a back-to-back is a little tougher, and, your chance of, something happening probably goes up higher on a back-to-back. So, they deserve a night off, and unfortunately we couldn't get the win, but I thought the guys that played had a real good effort.
Thank you. With Washington now, I mean, it could be a playoff preview. We don't know. How does that affect anything that you do? Like in your face-off circle, do you not show a guy your A-game, or is there anything that is that in the back of your mind?
No, it's a good question. I think it is in the back of your mind for sure. I think you want to show them a good effort and show your compete level and stuff like that. I think if you're going to be competing against a team in a 7-game series, obviously you want to put your best foot forward. I think obviously there's not really anywhere we can go in the standings, but I think more so than anything, just a chance for us to continue to work on our habits and try to be as consistent as we can in our effort going in the last game here and be ready to go. I think there's a few guys that are coming off injury and stuff like that it's an important game for them to kind of get back up to speed, and as a team we want to try to fine-tune our details. I think we've said that for the last week or two, but there's always a chance to get better, and I think tonight's a good example of that.
Was it weird not having either Artemi or Kopp on the other side of you the other night?
Yeah, it was, and then no Mika Kreids. It was everything was a little bit different for sure. I think, when you get in your routine for 82 games, I mean, even around the dressing room, hanging out before the game, everything looks a little bit different. So it was a little bit weird, but that's why I think tonight will be a good night. Have most of the guys playing, and it feels more familiar, and I think going into the playoffs, you want to, be as normal as possible, and hopefully we can have a good effort and keep things rolling.
How does a guy like Barclay Goodrow, he's gone the distance twice in the past 2 years. How does that experience help your team right now?
I think experience is a funny thing. I think can it really affect the group, and I think sometimes it doesn't affect the group at all. But I think when you have a guy that's been in the playoffs so many times like he has in so many big games, I think when he talks, you listen, and I think you've seen all year just the way he handles himself. I think the way he talks in the media and the way he plays and prepares himself is the biggest leadership and the biggest way to kind of rub that experience off. I don't think it's anything you necessarily say. I think it's more the things he's done all year that have rubbed off so well on all of us, and I just think that he's so composed and he knows what it takes, and he does it every day. I think he's got a very consistent approach. He doesn't really get too high or too low, and he's been a great role model for all of us and a great leader. And he'll be leaned on obviously more in the postseason, but he's done an unreal job and a great teammate and a great player.
Who were your line mates tonight?
I can't say.
You're the good guy.
Yeah, I know I'm the good guy, but I'm mad at you guys because you also vote for team MVP and you let me hanging on that
one. So. What did they show you?
I hope I was at least 3rd or 4th on the ballot.
You showed them the top 3.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks. See?
You show them the full thing.
Brian, I guess obviously got one more game to play, but in terms of the big picture for this team next week, what do you feel like you've learned about this group this year, and what do you think are going to be the keys for this group to have success in the playoffs?
I think just, worry about ourselves and play our game, I think whenever we've played to our ability or 80% of our ability or above, I think we've been successful. I think, there's been some letdown games, but all in all, I think when we worry about ourselves and what we can do, I think that's when we're at our best. I think, all year we've been pretty consistent. And I think in the playoffs, I think consistency and, shrugging off a loss or whatever may happen, the highs and lows are very important, I think, just to move on. And I think we've done a good job of that this year. I've kind of said it a few times to you guys, like, we've tried to come in the next day after a game and, kind of just worry about the next one. I think the playoffs are, that obviously and more emphasized. You got to, rub it off quickly, win or lose, and get ready to go. So I think just staying the course is important and just bringing our own game. I think if we worry about what we do and we execute, I think that's when we're successful, and not worry about the other team too much and just play our game.